Wait, I'll change my name. Just give me a sec.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of WASME, I, Shikha Sharma, heartily welcome all dignitaries and participate for live webinar on connecting the mind and body for balanced life. Let me brief about WASME, a global organization having member representative across globe, spearheading the cause and development and a promotion of SMEs worldwide through a policy advocacy, information, a dissemination, conference, seminar, events, training, publication, network linkage, and many more since 1980. WASME also enjoy the consultative and observe a status of United Nations. Now I invite Dr. Sanjeev Laik, Executive Secretary WASME, to welcome guests and deliver. Let me introduce Dr. Sanjeev Laik. Dr. Sanjeev Laik currently working as Executive Secretary at WASME, looking after a global across around 26 years of rich experience in strategy, research, consultancy, and projects. Contributed 18 research paper and actively associate with a 20 Ministry of Government of India. Harvard Business Research paper and actively associate with HBR and ResearchGate. Serving as a board committee members of Bennett University, Greater Noida, Symbiosis University, Noida, India, NDIM, New Delhi, Mentors and IEF, recognized and awarded by UNESCO, Paris, France, a group of Greater Noida, and a Ministry of MSME and a Ministry of Industry and Commerce of Government of India, a Times Group of SP Jain, a Global Management School of Dubai, UAE, a Tata Consultancy Service as a TCS, Delhi University, Economics Times, a Financial Express, Harvard Studio, Parley Sales and Services, Symbiosis University, Bennett University, Greater Noida and India. A MentorX, a Teflas Mumbai, Aaj Tak India Today, NTPC India. Dr. Laik is the author of two books titled MSMEs, a Crash or Opportunity in COVID-19, published by Lab Publishing, Europe, and editor of book title Mycology and plant pathology. I would like to thank Dr. Laik.
Thank you, Shikha, for nice introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is my privilege to welcome you to this very wonderful and nice session connecting mind and body. So this is the opportunity for MSME sector because this COVID has already disrupted their businesses as well as the mind. And many of the MSMEs, they have already finished their businesses here. Post-COVID, they have been recovering. So this session will definitely help them in recovering the post-COVID economy also and their businesses. So on behalf of WASME, our Honorable Secretary General, Dr. G.P. Agrawal, I heartily welcome all the dignitaries present here, our experts over here, Nidhi and Aya. They'll be just telling you how you can connect your mind and body for a balanced life. So this is the wonderful subject for this session. So I would like to just welcome our team for connecting WASME for wonderful session. I would like to welcome all the other participants who have already joined here for this session. My heartiest warm welcome to all the members of WASME across globe. So this will definitely help them in just recovering their businesses by supporting their immune system. So this COVID has already disrupted our lives and the businesses, as I told you. So this kind of session will definitely help them in supporting their businesses by balancing mind and body. So I again welcome all the dignitaries and participants to this live session connecting mind and body. Thank you. I'm just handing over this mic to the team, Aparna, for carrying out the session for the thank you.
Aparna, you are on mute.
Yeah, so I'm really thankful to Dr. Sanjeev. We are very honorable to have a healthcare session of our company, Alive Health, with the WASME for that. So now I would welcome and invite to our honorable co-founder of Alive Health. So hand over to Mr. Sushant Roy.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to this session. We will just spend a few minutes just to let all of you know about Alive Health. Alive Health is the world's first health insurance platform, in the sense that we work towards improving the health and well-being of our members, and not just mind and body, but also look at it from a prevention to diagnosis to cure, right? And we do that also by bringing in fun to habits and by bringing in care to insurance. And during this session you will get a idea about how we basically bring about actions across these 7 impact areas. So the 7 impact areas that our programs deal with is motivation and habits, mind and mood, sleep and rest, nutrition, physical activity, medical care, and financial protection. We firmly believe that when you combine these elements, that is when you can truly bring about an improvement in the health and well-being of a person. And with that in mind, let's start off with the webinar on connecting the mind and body. Yeah.
Welcome everyone and good evening. Welcome to the webinar Connecting Mind and Body for a Balanced Life. If you wish, you may keep some writing material with you to take notes, or if not, it's okay. You can even use your phone if you wish. Let me introduce you to your hosts for this evening. My name is Devanshi Ray. I'm a habit coach and behavioral scientist at Alive Health. I'm also joined by Shreya Iyer, who is a habit coach and exercise psychologist at Alive Health. And we're also joined by Nidhi Jain, who is a trained yoga trainer and a wellness coach.
So before we begin, just a few norms that we can discuss. I know that a lot of you are joining in from the conference room, but for those who are joining in from your own homes, just would request you to please keep your microphones off and videos on, because it's always important for us to see each other. As Devanshi already mentioned, keep some writing material next to you. because there are some activities that will be interactive, so it always helps, or you can use your phone to take down notes. Definitely, we want this session to be as interactive as possible. So if you will see at the bottom of your screen, there is an option called reactions. And when you click on that, you'll see a raise hand option. So if at any point of time you want to ask something or comment something, please use the raise hand option, and then you can unmute yourself and speak. And finally, since this is a wellness session, just definitely keep a bottle of water next to you. If you need to get up and move around, please feel free to do so. And I hope this session makes you feel energized.
Now, the idea that the mind and body are connected comes to us quite naturally today, right? We don't need to be psychologists or experts or doctors to understand the essence of its connection in our own life experiences, right? However, till almost the 20th century, there was a view that the physical world and the mental world are completely different. But now, the mind and body connection is widely recognized and harnessed not only to cure ailments, but also to prevent them, to promote healthy well-being. Now let's look at some ways in which the mind influences the body. So the first example is meditation and visualization, right? So whenever we meditate, it is a kind of rest that not even sleep can get us to, right? And this rest helps our body heal, right? And it heals the physical ailments like the sleep issues if we face, then high BP or asthma, but most commonly stress. And how does visualization help? It can help in enhancing our physical performance, among many others. Another thing, sometimes the negative and the positive emotions that we feel, it can show up in our bodies. Let's say, for example, anger or nervousness. Anytime you feel anger or nervousness, you might feel that you're sweating more, right? Or maybe your heart is beating fast. So these are like some of the physical translations of a mental process, right? Similarly, if you're feeling happy or excited, our blood flows into the cheeks and cheeks seem red. But one of the most pronounced physical effects of something that is happening in our mind is that of mental illnesses. So for example, depression and anxiety, the things that we can face, that we can see in our body are sometimes the weight fluctuations or the change in our appetite, or sometimes the chest pain or bodily pains, right? So these are sometimes like quite pronounced and quite prominent, but the source of it is something mental, right? So we've seen some ways in which the mind influences the body. Now let's look at some ways in which the body influences the mind. So the first one, for example, exercise, right? Let's say you go out for a walk or you go to the gym. How do you feel after that? You feel quite energized, you feel quite uplifted, even though you were probably in a not so good mood before exercising. So what exercise does, it changes the hormones in our body. What kind of hormones? It changes the serotonin levels, endorphins, and even the stress hormones, which regulate our mood and help us feel more uplifted. And another example, let's say your body language, even your body language and posture can give feedback to your brain, right? And it can tell you how to feel. So let's take an example. Let's say you have to publicly speak among many people, right? There are two ways of doing that. Let's say you stand with your chest up, your shoulders rolled back, and your chin up, right? There's one way of standing and addressing the people. Another way could be, you're just standing with like drooping shoulders. So which posture do you think is going to help you during this exercise? So studies have actually said that the first way, that is of shoulders rolled back and standing upright and with your chin up, that can actually induce a feeling of confidence, right? So the next time when you have to do something that makes you feel nervous, you would know how to stand, or how you can keep your posture. Another way is something as simple as a facial expression. Even the process of smiling, even if it's fake, it doesn't even have to be genuine. Even a fake smile can induce a sense of well-being, and it can help reduce your stress. So these are just like very few ways in which the body influences the mind. And how do we know that? There have been many studies that have shown the relationship between the mind and body. The first one, for example, mindfulness. It has helped in, with the symptoms of cancer, stress, and fatigue. Even the psychological approach of being optimistic. Optimism has actually been connected to increased lifespan. And for example, yoga, something that you do to your physical body, that can help alleviate mood and anxiety. And lastly, the one that we just talked about, even smiling. Smiling can help reduce stress.
So now we've spoken about, this relationship between the mind and body. But as Dr. Sanjeev already mentioned about the pandemic, so we want to focus on how we can harness this relationship between the mind and body to help us deal with whatever we've been going through during the pandemic. So just to briefly run over some of the things that we might have been facing, are things like workplace stress, right? Or definitely some overwhelming emotions like anxiety or depression, changes in routine, maybe some unhealthy habits we picked up, such as, our relationship with our phone or eating unhealthy food. So these are a lot of things that came up for us during the pandemic. And now we are going to see how there are different mind and body techniques that we can use to really deal with this. These are just some figures I would want to share with you to show how COVID affected our overall health, right? So as you can see here, 1 in 7 people in India at this point are suffering from some mental health problem, right? And these numbers have definitely increased after the COVID-19 pandemic. These are some global indices. So these are some figures from all over the world showing us how the most common disorders such as major depressive disorder and anxiety disorders have increased. And not only this, but there are also certain physical health problems that we're facing, right? For example, there's been an experience in weight gain, sedentary lifestyle has increased, and so many more. So it's very important for us, and definitely for the fact that WASME is conducting this wellness session shows that we are here to deal with this problem right now. But one of the most important facts that we found out through our exploration is that in the workplace, right, among working professionals, the most common type of problem that they face is stress, right? And as all of you belonging to WASME, maybe you'll relate to this, which is why today we want to focus on how we can help alleviate stress. So you may ask me, what exactly is stress? We use this word so many times in our daily lives. I have been feeling stressed. I have been stressed over the last week. But what it essentially means is that sometimes demands are placed upon us, right? So this demand can be from anywhere. It can be from the environment. It can be from our workplace. Sometimes it's demands that we place upon ourselves. But when we don't have enough capacity to meet those demands, that is when we feel stressed. So if you would like to remember an easy way is stress essentially means the demand and capacity gap, right? And when we can bridge this gap through several coping techniques, that's how we can alleviate stress. So before I move ahead, because I said this would be an interactive session, would anyone volunteer and let us know, that what are some kind of stressors y'all face, especially as a working professional during the last 1 or 2 years? Anyone would want to maybe just unmute themselves and let us know, or write on the chat box?
I'm Bridge Dope. I've been a working professional. I'm a corporate professional for long years, and I can share my experiences. The stress can be in so many ways. I would give a small example to you. I was working in blast furnace. The person who was responsible for taking the gas samples are to be taken every day because that tells us the movement of the furnace. So my Russian counterpart, Mr. Mironov, he said, Mr. Dhoop, let's go and get the samples because the guy is on leave. So we decided to go up and take samples. It is very high, about 300 feet. We went up the stairs and we discovered that we have forgotten to bring the mask and gloves because blast furnace shell which is made up of steel, is very hot. So we said, anyways, let's try. So there is a machine, there is a motor driven equipment which goes inside the shell and collects the gas. Gas flows out, and at the end of the external nozzle, we put the rubber bladder. So rubber bladder was there, and we fixed it, and we took 7-8 samples, and then we had to push the that equipment inside back. And take it out so that the nozzle will close automatically. Yeah. And when we operated the motor, it wouldn't move. Mm-hmm. And blast furnace gas is even 1% if you inhale, the man dies. And the gas flows out constantly. If we close that nozzle, the aperture, then the gas will be flooding everywhere and hundreds of people will die. Yeah. So we didn't have any way out but to pull it out by force. Mr. Mironov was very burly, heavy guy and having a lot of strength. So I said, okay, Mr. Mironov, once you go run, pull it out, next time I'll go. So we took turns, and after 7-8 turns, it moved and it came out. Correct. By that time, we all our faces, hair, because in blast furnace gas, when it comes out, there are small red hot iron ore and other ore pieces. So it singed all our faces, hands, everything.
So definitely, yeah, this was a challenge that you faced, something that you faced at that moment. And
I just wanted, sorry to interrupt, the stress was developed at that within those 5 minutes. Correct. The stress we felt, a very serious stress, because we felt so many people will die because of our mistake. Correct. And we were bent upon pulling it out anyhow. And so we could do it. So at the end of it, we were satisfied. I heaved a sigh of relief that, oh, I have saved so many lives. And we came down, and again the stress was built on me because our boss, my boss, he came there and he said, Mr. Dhoop, he saw my face and everything burnt. And he said, tomorrow you have to come because we have a meeting. Correct. You see, this is what happens in the corporate life. Yes, definitely. Thank you very much for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dhoop, for sharing that with us. And definitely what you mentioned is, at that point of time, this was such a challenging situation and you faced something called acute stress. So at that point of time, you knew there was such a big demand that you had to take up. It was very challenging for you, but you could problem solve your way through that. And thank you so much for that. So like Mr. Dhoop said, there was a particular incident that he had to face at his corporate life. And I'm sure a lot of you have your own sort of situation or incidents that have been stressful for you, right? But when we look overall in the corporate sector, some of the main stressors that have been prevalent because of the COVID-19 pandemic are things like changes in the business plans, right? So from a completely actual scenario changing, pivoting to a digital platform or pivoting to a virtual life. And of course, there have been human resource challenges. So just the very fact that we're doing this online, right? So there's so many different things like communication barriers and other sort of challenges that you might have faced. And the most important one, which is work-life balance. So now that, there are no physical places to go to, often making this boundary between what our work is and what our life is has become blurred. So this is something that a lot of professionals have faced. And this, I think, the uncertainty of situations is something that people all over the world face. So we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow because the situations are so risky. So having covered, some of these common stressors that we might have faced, I just want to tell you why this could mean that we are in trouble. So stress is something that is normal, right? We will all face some sort of stress in our life. So just giving you all some background to stress, when we go back around, couple thousand years back, when our ancestors used to, let's see, face a threat in the environment. So suppose, let's say they saw a lion, right? So there are three ways that they could have reacted to this. So one is either they fight the lion, second is either they run away from the lion, or third is they freeze. So this is what we call the fight, flight, and freeze stress response, which is how we all generally deal with stressors, right? But when we are in this survival mode for too long, for around 2 to 3 years, then it can harm our health in many ways, which is why it's important for us to nip it immediately. So now that we've spoken about stress and understood how it affects our mind and our body, let's discuss some ways that we can cope with stress. So this is a simple 3-way formula that we want to introduce to you, which we call the 3 A's, that can really help us deal with the stress, right? So accept, act, and appreciate. So the first portion that we're going to cover is acceptance. So, and there's a very nice line which conveys it, is what we resist persists, right? So before I go on to explain this, I would like all of you to join me in doing a simple activity, right? And for this, y'all can look at Devanshi, because she will be doing the activity alongside, and y'all can look at her if y'all have any doubts in how to do the activity. Right? So just to begin this activity, I would like all of you to just sit comfortably. It'll just be for around 4 or 5 minutes. Just sit comfortably and take a deep breath. And just imagine that out there in front of you, so in front of you, your walls, the office space, anything around you, is everything that really matters to you. Everything that makes your life really meaningful. So all the people, places, activities you love, your favorite foods and drinks, all the things that you like to do, and the people that you care about. And also imagine that surrounding you are some problems and challenges that you need to deal with in your everyday life, or anything that is stressing you out, such as a deadline at work or a problem with your home, and also other regular day-to-day tasks. Now please copy me as I do this exercise. So let's imagine that your palms, you can place them together like this. So let's just imagine that your palm represents all your difficult thoughts, feelings, emotions, or memories that are associated with the stress and anxiety. So put them together like this and take your hands towards your eyes and cover them. They're completely covering your face. And continue keeping your hands like this till I ask you to do next. So now that your palms are cupping your face, Notice three things. First, how much are you missing out on right now? Can you see what is around you? Can you see the people who are around you? How disengaged or disconnected are you from the people that matter? Second, notice how difficult it is to focus your attention on what you need to do. If there's an important task right now in front of you, but your thoughts and emotions are clouding your face, how hard would it be for you to focus on it? If there's a problem you need to solve or a challenge you need to tackle, how hard is it to give your full attention? Now, slowly, I would ask you to lower your hands down and just place it on your lap. So just placing your thoughts, your feelings on your lap. And as you're unhooking from your thoughts or creating some distance, what does the view of the room look like now? How much easier is it to engage and connect? If there's a task you need to do or a situation you need to address, how much easier is it to focus on it? Now notice that your thoughts and emotions and other memories are still resting on your lap. They haven't disappeared anywhere. We haven't dropped them or gotten rid of them. They are still there. So if there's something useful that we can do with them or learn from them, then we have the space or the distance to actually do so. Even painful thoughts and painful information can help us and point us towards the direction that we need to go to. And if there's nothing useful we can do with them, sometimes creating that distance matters. So let me just give you all 15 or 20 seconds to just let this sink in. So when we talk about acceptance, generally when we're really stressed or when we're facing something, we constantly worry, we constantly ruminate. And we often don't take a step back to really look at it with a pause and understand what's happening. So the first A of managing stress is accepting our stress. Because only when we know what we're dealing with is when we can do something about it. So something very simple y'all can do to make this happen. The next time y'all feel any overwhelming emotion, it might be stress, but it might be some other negative, unhelpful emotions. The very act of labeling that or acknowledging and accepting to yourself that you're facing something and also giving the reason why can help you really understand your stress. So that is the first step. So here I have given an example. So let's say this is my reason. So I can take 2 or 3 breaths and say it out loud. I accept that I am feeling stressed and overwhelmed because of the declines in sale, but I allow myself to give space to the feelings that exist. So when you create this space, rather than the emotions controlling you, you regain some control back. And actually labeling emotions helps you do that and understanding the reason why. So moving ahead, now that we have spoken about acceptance, the second step of our formula is act. So choosing what serves us best. After we have looked at what exactly we are facing, now the next step is how to act. So this is a two-way step that y'all can think about whenever y'all face a stressful situation, is to first ask yourself, is this situation under your control, right? If yes, then what aspects of the situation are under your control and how can you solve it directly? So just to carry on with the previous example, with when the example was, there has been a decline in sales. So you think about, okay, what aspects of the situation is under your control, right? So example, finding probable prospects, increasing your marketing strategy, right? So these are some ways that you can solve the problem directly. But sometimes some aspects are not under our control. So because of the COVID-19 pandemic, right, the whole economy was on a decline. Because consumer behaviors are changing. So these are some aspects that are affecting the decline in sales, but we have no control over it. So what is important here is to think of different ways that you can take care of the emotions or thoughts that you're experiencing towards it. This is what is under your control. And this is where we look at how we can introduce some self-care techniques to take care of the stress that we are feeling.
So self-care doesn't just mean indulging, right? It also includes all actions that nourishes our body, our soul, and our mind. So some of the common examples in which you can practice self-care are on your screen. So you can move your body, any kind of movement. It could be yoga or walking or even exercising or gymming. Even writing down your thoughts could be something that some people can do and some people want to do. Things like pranayama, deep breathing, and even the things that will go unnoticed, like petting an animal, right? So some of the examples here, like mindfulness, looking at nature, are just common things that have worked for people and are also suggested by psychologists and therapists, and they have been studied to actually help in taking care of your mental well-being, right? But for this session, I will invite Nidhi, and we will go through the first three very commonly practiced and very significantly effective self-care practices. That is yoga and pranayama, and also mindfulness.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I will be talking about how yoga and mindfulness becomes and connects our body, mind, and soul at a one time. So mindfulness is not just about your body or your mind. It also involves your body and the environment around you. So what tends to happen is when you are not mindful, you will be self-driven by your own subconscious mind, which means you are not in full control. We are not consciously thinking, but we are just reacting from our past experiences or habits or pattern of behavior. So mindfulness is the key to actually living a life where we are more relaxed, where we are in control. When we are stressed, we often will hold or shorten our breathing or breath in a short, stilled manner. Being able to continue to inhale and exhale calmly and deeply throughout life is a tremendous stress reliever. Here, I will be telling you that what will be the outcome if we practice mindfulness or being mindful at all the times. The first one which I'm talking about is you do not immediately react to a situation if you follow mindfulness practices. Second one, you are more aware and sensitive to the needs of your body. It means that you may notice your pains earlier, and for them, you can take the appropriate action towards it. The third one, your level of care and compassion for yourself and for others, it will increase or rises. Fourth, you are better able to focus on each and every pattern of life or each and everything, whatever is going through. The fifth one, you can switch your attitude towards the stress. Rather just seeing the negative consequences of feeling stressed, mindfulness offers you the space to think differently about the stress itself. So to concise all things and to just experience how the mindfulness works, we are going to do a simple technique which is known as anchoring technique. So for that, I will request all of you to sit straight. You're going to sit straight, and it's a simple exercise which you can do at any point of time. So for that, sit straight, keep your shoulders rolled back, keep your chin always parallel to the ground, and be relaxed in that manner. Now I will be telling you how you have to go through it, how you have to follow the instructions. Now, one thing you have to remember here, that I will be giving you only 30 seconds to just observe your breathing. What you have to do, when you are going to inhale, the normal way, the way you breathe, that's how you have to do the breathing. So when you inhale, just focus on the upper lips, that you are inhaling the cold breath or the normal breath. And when you are exhaling, you are feeling the warmth of your breath on the upper lips. This is a simple thing which all of you can do. And you need to just observe your breathing and the sensation from your breath, which you can feel, the cold and the warmth. So should we start? Okay. So I will be giving you 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds. You have to observe your breath, be there. I'm not giving any instructions. You just need to focus on your breath and feel those sensations. Okay. Sit straight, shoulders roll back, chin parallel to the ground, and close your eyes. You can keep your hands in a relaxed manner. Now you can just inhale normally and feel the cold breath on the upper lips. And as you exhale, you will feel the warmth of your breath while exhaling. Let's do it for 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds. Now, those who have not exhaled, just exhale properly. After that, you gently rub your palms and then cup your eyes and blink the eyes in the cup and slowly and gently release the posture and relaxed. Now, just wanted to ask you people, how did you feel? What did you observe? What did you how are you feeling now after doing only 30-second exercise? You feel free to unmute yourself and just share your views.
Little relieved.
Great. Any other suggestion? Any other answers? Okay, no issues. So as one of you has said that it's you are relieved, right? It's just we have done simple 30-second simple exercise. This you can do at any point of time, like while you're working, while you're walking, while you're sitting, just any time. Now let me give an example to show how anchoring to the present moment can help to cope up with the stress and other overwhelming emotions. So when we feel anger or intense anger, there are different ways in which we react. Perhaps we scream at the person because who we are feeling angry, bang doors, walk from the scene, or retreat into our shells, not wanted to talk to anybody. Oftentimes, we may end up hurting others around us and even our best friends or best interests or best, I will say, best colleagues, etc. But now, insert mindfulness over there. imagine the next time when you get angry or when we get angry, instead of immediately acting without thinking or without a thought, we perform this simple anchoring technique, which can bring ourselves to the current moment and take a pause, being curious about our anger and then responding in a thoughtful manner. Not only will it help to calm our body, but we will not be controlled by our anger. We can instead ask ourselves why I'm feeling hungry, why I'm feeling angry, what can I do to take care of the situation in the rational manner? Is it worth it? The same way we should also reply, or we have to give those whatever I have said, like whatever reactions whatever we have given, was it worth it or not? And then only you have to respond. So truth be told, as mindfulness has the power to change the world. So moving ahead, here I will be telling you some of the asanas and the pranayams which will help you to being mindful at all the time. This is the basic thing which we can learn from here. So here, why asanas plays an important role also, because it is being said that whenever we are doing any pranayams, our body should be opened up, should be flexible enough to receive the vibrations of the prana, or to flow the prana into our body, into our nervous system. Our body should be open up. So asanas plays an important role before moving to any pranayama practices. So for that, for asanas practice, we are going to go with the simple stretching exercises today, which you can do at your desk while you're working, or at home if you are sitting also. So we are going to do these stretching exercises sitting on the chair. So don't worry, it is very simple and each and every person can do it. No issues. You don't have to worry about that if you have any kind of ailment or something that you cannot do. No, it is very simple and very basic. So are you ready? So let's sit on the chair properly, shoulders roll back. The one thing which you have to remember is that you should keep your back straight. So keep your back straight, shoulders roll back, chin always parallel to the ground. Now take your right hand up. I will be taking my left so that you can see it is right only. So take your right hand up. Now lengthen your spine up properly and tilt to the left other side of your body and stay. Here, just go normally with breathing. Normal breathing, you have to stay there. Keep stretching your side muscles and stay. 1, 2, I hope I'm visible, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax, get the hand down. Now the other hand.
Okay, I think we lost Nidhi for a second. Apologies for that. Yeah, Nidhi, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that you people have lost me. Okay, fine. Now we were so last what you have heard, one-sided we have done.
Yeah, one side.
Okay, now second side, take your left hand up, lengthen your spine and tilt to the other side and stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then get back to the center. Now the second stretching or second asana we will be going to do is just shoulder rotation. So keep your hands on the shoulders, elbows in front of your chest, and then we will rotate it slowly. Go with always normal breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now anti-clockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then relax. The third and the last one, I know everyone is aware about that, but it is necessary because we have already moved our shoulders. So it's necessary to move on the neck also. So we will go with just simple neck rotation, 2 rounds each side. But those who are feeling giddy, those who are having any vertigo issue or cervical issue, please don't go with neck rotation. Others can go for it. So we will just go with one round each side, starting with your right. Full rotation, slow. 1. And now left side. And relax. Comfortable, everyone? Okay. Now, moving ahead, we will move towards the pranayam section. So for pranayam means what? It's a regulation of the breath. And we are going to learn 2 pranayams today, which can be done by each and every person. Sorry. Yeah, I thought, am I visible and audible? Yes, right? Okay, fine. Now, when I was talking about pranayam. So these 2 pranayams can be done by any person without, it does not have any kind of limitation. Okay. So the first name of the first pranayam is equal breathing. And the second one, which we are going to learn, is abdominal breathing. Now, the first one which we are talking about is equal breathing. So what does equal breathing means? Equal breathing means that how much you are inhaling, the same amount you need to exhale also. Sometimes if you people have observed that some people inhale very fast and exhale very slow. And some of them will inhale very slow and exhale very fast. If you have not observed your breath, then you can, I'll give you 10 seconds. Just observe how is your breathing is equal, or is it not in proportion. Just go 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So now tell me, is it equal? Or there was not, it was not in proportion? Any answers? Okay, no issues. So here I was telling you, just give me a second. Yeah, here I was telling you that we have to always focus on the breath and observe that you are inhaling the equal amount of inhalation, and exhalation should be equal. So we are going to do this practice where you just need to inhale and exhale normally, but that should be done along with me with my counts. Okay, so let's start. So again, for pranayams also, you have to sit straight, keep your back straight, chin always parallel to the ground. Now I will be giving the instructions. You need to follow the instructions. Okay. Okay. Now close your eyes. Those who are wearing specs, please remove the specs, because whenever we do pranayam, we should not wear the specs. Okay. Now close your eyes and just focus on your breath once. How it is, how you are inhaling, how you're exhaling. Now follow my instructions. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. 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 2 more times. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, and 3. Just be there that way only and keep focusing only on your breath. Let your eyes be closed. Okay, now you can gently open your eyes. धीरे से आंखें खोलिए. Okay, everyone is comfortable. Okay, the second one, which is again a very useful pranayam, and it can be done during the day anytime, but the only thing which you have to remember is there should be a gap of at least 2.5 hours from your meal when you are doing pranayams. Okay, the name of the pranayam is abdominal breathing, and it has, I'll say, it has numerous number of benefits. Okay, so I will be sharing some of the benefits after the session, after the pranayam practice. After that, I will be sharing the benefits. But before going ahead, just experience this and then do let me know how you have felt after doing the second pranayam. So second pranayam is very simple. You have to place your right hand on your belly. Place your right hand on the belly, on the navel, and keep your left hand on your thigh. Wherever you're sitting, just be comfortable in the posture. Again, keep your back straight, close your eyes, and you just need to focus on your belly or on the hand. Remember one thing, whenever you inhale, your stomach will bulge out, and when you exhale, your stomach will contract or it will go inside. So create the awareness towards your hand and focus on your hand itself, that how it is moving up when you are inhaling and how it is coming down when you are exhaling. Understood? And again, this pranayam is also, we will go with the count, the same inhale and exhale, counting with equal breathing. So let's start. Sit straight again, keep your chin parallel to the ground, shoulders roll back. And now place your right hand on the stomach or on the belly, up on the navel. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Just stay along and connected with your breath. And now you can go ahead with my instructions. So let's go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. 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 And just stay there with your breath.
Okay.
Now, gently rub your palms Cup your eyes, blink the eyes in the cup, and slowly and gently release the posture. And yes. So want to hear from you all, how did you feel after this pranayama practice? Any one of you?
19.
Okay. I'm hoping that everyone is so much relaxed and in their own zone, so that they don't want to speak a word also. It's fine, it happens. No worry. Stay with that silence, no issues. But that calmness, that serenity, what you have felt right now, it can be sense, and you can achieve all these things when you are doing this practices continuously and within a disciplined manner. Then definitely you will be able to cope up with the stress thing very easily and very beautifully. Okay. As I told you that moving ahead, I will be telling you the benefits which you can get it from the pranayams. It creates a sense of calmness within you, right? It makes you very, very, very relaxed after, suppose if you have worked a lot throughout the day, and if you in the evening, if you are doing this pranayams, you will be very relaxed. It works as a stress buster, stress reliever. It creates that I'll say sense of serenity within you. And then after some point of time, when you have a continuous practice of this, you will feel that lightness within you after doing this pranayam practices. And believe me, I have experienced myself all this thing. That's why I can share that with you. You can try and do regularly to get the maximum benefits out of it. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood. Any questions regarding any of the pranayams? If you're not understanding anything, or do you want to share any views of yours, if you have attended any other session, or if you have done pranayams earlier, anything which you want to share? Fine. One more thing I really want you to do regarding it is, again, two more asanas I really want to tell you, or really want to share that with you, which will really help when we are working on the desk.
Except in between, I am suffering with Parkinson. Now, whatever you are saying is a very good exercises which I am trying to do every day, but still I am not able to balance my body. I mean, standing, I try to get fall down absolutely unnoticingly. Could you also kindly add some of your good points on that? Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I have it was breaking in between. You said that you have a Parkinson, right?
I do have. I'm suffering with for last 1 year.
Okay.
During the pandemic, it has gone little more. Maybe suffering earlier, but during your COVID period, this has, because I am not able to walk outside. So this has become more. Now, this portion also, I put that questionnaire as well earlier.
Okay. So what's your good name?
I'm H. Das.
S. Das. Okay. So in Parkinson's, and from past how many days you are practicing this pranayams or any kind of breathing practices?
Maybe for 8 months.
Okay. And the same way which I have told you, or did you like you were doing something else?
Yeah, something else as well, which you have been told by the hospital to do the Parkinson exercises.
Okay.
Along with, but that's a part of my daily exercises.
Good.
So,
that you don't have anyways have to stop. You have to continue doing that. Apart from that, that's as I told you, so we are working on the stress, and these exercises can be done by any person, as I told you initially also, right? So you can inculcate these exercises, and there's some more pranayams which can be helpful in Parkinson's. So here it will be difficult for me to teach you all these things because it's a specific medical condition, right? So if you can like connect with us later on, then I will be surely I will help you in taking or giving those exercises to you, which will really help you in recovering this disease.
Oh, sure, ma'am. Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, surely do that. And I will tell you that yoga helps. It really helps. So if you do it regularly, it will really help. And I am hoping that you will recover from the situation in which you are now as ASAP.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. By the time you can practice these two pranayams daily, and on the abdominal breathing, you should practice daily at night, surely, without any fail.
Okay.
Yes.
I afternoon, evening time, after I get up from my bed. So that's a good time, but I'll do it at night as well. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, surely do that. Okay, then I will here I will share, like, hand over to Shreya. You can take it ahead. Thank you, everyone.
Hi everyone, this is Devanshi. So now that we have learned how to practice certain self-care techniques, for example, some desk yoga, something that you can do while seated, even some pranayama exercises, and also some mindfulness, right? We've experienced that through the breathing exercise. And now, how can we make it happen? So we know what we have to do, right? But often there are these barriers that come up, like maybe the time constraint, or maybe we forget about it, and myriad other barriers that come in. So even though we know what we have to do, we are not able to do it, right? So now we'll just share with you some of the habit tips and techniques that can make it happen. It's going to make it easier for you to do them. So for example, you can see some 4 habit techniques on your screen. The first one, after I sit at my desk, I will practice positive visualization for 2 minutes, right? Some others are, after I wake up, I will do 3 Surya Namaskars next to my bed. So if you notice carefully, the 4 techniques that are present on your screen, they follow a certain structure, right? It's always after I do something, I will practice the self-care activity, right? And why has it been structured like that? There's actually a perfectly good reason. And the reason is basically, if you want to do something, if you want to inculcate a new habit, something that you want to apply in your lives every day, the best way to make it easier for you to do and easier for your brain to make that connection and make it a habit is to do it right after or right before a pre-existing habit. So here, I'll go through the examples again. The pre-existing habits here mentioned are sitting at my desk. So here we are assuming someone who works and someone who sits at their desk and works. Laying on the bed, so everybody goes to the bed to sleep at night. Finishing my work, something that all working professionals do. They finish their work, and also waking up. So these are the habits that are already existent in our life. And what are the new habits that we want to build? Some of you may want to build the habit of positive visualization, right? Some of you may want to read books, right? That is something that can also help in taking care of yourself. Even going out for a walk in nature and a Surya Namaskar or a yoga asana or pranayama or whatever it is, if you do it right after or right before a habit that is already present in your life, you are significantly increasing your chances of making that a habit. And not only that, it's going to make it easier for you to remember as well, right? So if you have this connection in your mind, you will know, okay, now that I've woken up, I have to practice the 3 Surya Namaskars. So maybe you can try applying it in your routine, right? So the second technique is basically blocking some non-negotiable time for it. So some of the examples given here are send a compliment or a thank you note to someone you know on Mondays. So here you're giving yourself that time. So on Mondays, this is something I will do, right? I will practice my gratitude. That has been proven to be a very effective way in taking care of your mental well-being. Some of the others are I will spend quality time with my co-workers outside office once a month, at least once a month. And even scheduling 1 hour of non-negotiable self-care time at least once a week. So here basically the theme is that you set up certain non-negotiable time and you set up certain goals for your self-care activities. Instead of leaving it in the air, you follow this particular structure to make it easier for you to actually practice them, right? And the third kind is changing your environment, right? How can you change your environment in such a way that it makes it easier for you to practice the self-care activities? For example, maybe you can try putting some pictures or certain post-it notes and keeping it in places that you are generally tending to stress out during that time. So you can put things that motivate you. It could be pictures of your children. It could be a certain quote that you like. It could be a picture of a role model, right? Someone you follow, or like any word that motivates you, even something like breathe. In fact, I have a post-it note on my desk that says breathe because I want to remind myself to just step back and take a breath before I do anything. Some of the other examples, if you want to hydrate yourself, right? Drinking water can actually have a calming effect, right? So maybe to remind yourself to drink water, what you can do is you can place certain water bottles in every room or like rooms that you visit the most, and even on your work desk, like I have one right now. And every time you spot the bottle, the challenge is for you to drink the water, right? So you can make it like a fun game. So every time you spot a bottle, you have to drink the water. So this is just one of the ways in which you can make yourself drink more water, something that we often forget to do. And the other one, lastly, is to set monthly or weekly or daily self-care practices goals and also track their progress. So all those self-care activities that we mentioned here, and also the ones that you would like to build, try to have a goal, right? You can set monthly goals or weekly goals, and tracking them will help you stay on track and make you proceed and like make any progress in making those self-care practices a habit, right? So now that we've discussed so many hacks, it would be really interesting if we can actually do one of them, right? And one of them that we can actually do right now is the third one. So the second one, sending a compliment or a thank you note to someone we know. So what we can do now is we can spend around 2 minutes, and I would invite all of you to send a message on WhatsApp, or if the person is with you right now, you can tell the person, right? Just tell them maybe like whatever you want to say. It could be a sense of gratitude, right? You are thankful to them for, being that person in their lives. It could be a family member. It could be your children. It could be a co-worker, right? It could be your parents. It could be anybody you would like to express your gratitude for. Or you can even send them a compliment, right? If they've done something for you, maybe like complimenting them and letting them know that, right? So it can be anything. I would request all of you to do that. Take your phones and maybe write a WhatsApp message or send them an email, right? And see how it feels. I really request all of you to do it, because more than the person reading it, you are going to feel a lot better. And gratitude has actually been studied to be one of the key things, indicators of well-being. It's something that all psychologists, therapists want people to practice, right? Practicing gratitude. So I'm also going to do it. In fact, I have my phone right here with me. And let's take around 1 minute to formulate that beautiful message and send it to someone. So how did everyone feel? Would anyone like to unmute themselves and say how it made them feel? If they haven't replied yet, that's fine, but it's more about how it made you feel. So if you'd like, you can tell us on the chat box, or you can even unmute yourself and tell us. And is it something that you would like to practice, right? Is it a kind of habit that you would like to inculcate?
Can I try it again?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to do all these exercises for quite long, but I have not been able to do it regularly. So what happens, I try it out for a day or two, and then again, because of being busy with certain other things, I can't continue with this. So you will have to tell me how to make a ritual and follow that ritual very strictly. And that is how it can be done. So your advice in that context would be very useful.
Absolutely. So I can mention a few things informed by habit science, how you can make it easier for you to do them actually and make a ritual out of it, right? So the main things that you can do is first to make it extremely easy for you to do it, right? If the task is something really hard, or if it requires a lot of resources, it can be your time, your energy, whatever it is, if you can break it down into the tiniest piece, right? If it's something that requires 10 minutes, can you do it in 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? So how can you decrease the difficulty level? Because you want to make it a habit. So the best way to start making a habit is to keep it extremely simple and then increase the difficulty of it. So always starting small, right? So there's another tip is to set up reminders, right? You have to set up cues to remind yourself to do it. Often what happens, it can slip our mind, right? And we forget to do it. Even if we have the time, resources and everything to do it, we are not able to do it because we forget. So another second tip would be setting up reminders. It can be anything from alarms to keeping like post-it notes or like telling someone to remind you anything, right? You can explore your way of reminder. So, there are many other tips and techniques, and this is something that we use in habit coaching as well. And another, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. One more question. That getting up, since we are working from home now, आदत पड़ गई है आराम से सोने की. So to wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock becomes a torture. So what about that problem one faces?
Right. So, more than trying to wake up early, what can help is trying to go to sleep early, because we can't really control when we wake up. At that point, it becomes very easy to sleep a little more, thoda or so late. So what you can control are your night rituals, how you're spending your night. Are you going to sleep at the right time? Are you practicing the right night rituals to be able to get good quality and quantity sleep and not feel groggy when you actually wake up early in the morning, right? So
if you would see our the way we work, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the whole thing exercise starts and it goes up to 12 o'clock. So sleeping early becomes out of question. That is the problem.
So if that's the case, then there are other ways as well. So, what would help is if we sit together and see what our current lifestyle is, what can we actually change and what can we not change, and then finding the right solution based on your needs, how your lifestyle is. So that is something that we can talk about in greater detail. And I would request you to please, to connect with us again and, ask our team, and let's connect again later so that I can actually get into your lives.
How do I connect? I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Because really enjoyed all three of you, Shreya, Devanshi, and Nidhi. You handled everything so well, so simply. You made it so simple to catch, and practice. बहुत easy लगा मुझे, and I would love to be connected with you.
Yes, absolutely. So we will give that information later in this slide, how you can connect with us. And thank you so much for telling that. It really means a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
So thank you, Mr. Dhoop, for your contributions. And now that we've explored how we can make self-care happen, which is really important for stress relief, we just come to the last part, our last A of stress management is appreciating. So this is just something simple that I would like to tell you all about is when we go through stress and when we emerge out of it, always when we reflect back, there's something that we can learn from it. So something that we call silver linings is basically, I don't know if they all have ever seen a cloud and when they are dark and they're going to rain, right? But there's always this faint lining around the cloud, which says even in the dark, maybe there is that one positive that we can look at, right? So very important is that the next time, or if there's any stressful situation that's coming to your mind right now, so just reflect upon that, did you learn anything new? So for example, just in my situation, I would like to talk about the pandemic. So when I ask myself, did I learn anything new? Yes, I learned that the whole world can come together to take care of it, right? Then when I go on to the next question, so are there any positives that came out of it? So something that comes up for me is that I could take care of my fitness better. There was more time to take care of it. And finally, when you ask yourself, were there any personal strengths you discovered after the stressful situation? Something that comes up for me is resilience, that I could go through, through the lockdown. So this is a very simple activity that all of you can perform on your own, just 3 prompts to look back upon a stressful situation and to give answers to these, which can also show you, what is something positive that came out of it. But sometimes difficult situations have no silver lining, and it is just it's an achievement to have survived. And if that is the case for you, so just take a moment to appreciate your resilience. Right. So finally, just summing up everything that we have spoken about so far, is that stress is something natural. When we first accept it, we can act on it with purpose and meaning. And after a stressful situation, when we can appreciate it using both our mind and body, we can master stress, right? So now that we've spoken about the mind-body connection and definitely yoga, habit coaching, and Mr. Dhoop, this is probably something that would definitely help you and anyone else who has similar questions, is that you can download our Alive Health app and there are actionable steps that you can take with us from today. So we have modules called challenges, where you can track your progress, compare your progress with others using a live leaderboard. We also have a habit dictionary and a to-do list, which can be your personal health calendar. And also you can gain insights and compare your insights with others. And we have curated programs. We have Habitable, we have Get Set Yoga, Reset, and Mind Healers, just to name a few. There are other yoga programs as well, such as High Five and Get Set Yoga and Habitable and all of these other sort of programs. So for anyone who's interested to work with us and connect with us more, I would request you all to download the Alive Health app, and you all can also use Ask Alive if you all have any questions and book these programs with us. So now that we have come to a point where we have shared what we wanted to, I open the floor for any question. If there's anything that you all might want to ask. In terms of everything covered so far, Mr. Dhoop, I hope we could answer your question about how you can connect with us. Right. So there are no questions. Sometimes that is a good sign. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience and listening to three of us. And I hope this was an impactful wellness session. And we have also sent a feedback link in the chat. And we would really appreciate your feedback here to know how and what you learned from the webinar. So now I would like to hand over to WASME, Dr. Sanjeev.
Thank you, Sir, and Nidhi and other experts who have already given such a wonderful session. And we have already shared one feedback link in the chat box. You can share your valuable feedback. Okay, thank you, all the experts over here. Shreya, Nidhi, Divangshi, Aparna, Sushant, and the team Alif. They have given a wonderful session and hope this will be beneficial for them. And we have Mr. Dhup is there, and he has already raised some questions. And at the end of the session, I think there was no question on the session. See, okay, no issue. Okay. If you have any kind of query, just you can share your queries online on info@wasmeinfo.org, and there means email ID already shared. So thank you all the participants being patient over there, and such a wonderful session, and this will definitely support you in recovering and scaling up of your business. Thank you all.
Kindly leave the mail ID as well as your contact number, mobile number, to get connected with the both of them who have been, advising us on the issues, particularly that demonstrations what they had been given. It will help me particularly. As well as to my other friends.
Definitely, sir. In the chat box, one feedback link is there. You can share your feedback. You can share your number and email ID. So definitely we will get back to you.
I've given my mail ID. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.